Yeah, right.
Like here they go.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Now I know that you're in education as well. So what are some of your greatest moments as an educator?
Ooh.
And how long have you been an educator?
A lot of people don't know this. I have been teaching for 17 years.
See, I know I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm. I come recommended by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis for teaching. That's how long I've been doing it. I guess my favorite moment would be, it's kind of a bittersweet moment. So I was working at Grand Center Arts, right? And I was in the office. And so I'm just sitting doing what I'm doing, and I hear like this music, this classical music. And I'm like, wow, that can't be coming through the speakers, because to put it on the speakers, I would see you do it, right? And so I look in the foyer, and there's this piano there. This is guy playing. And so I'm like, oh my God. So, because I'm hearing Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, like the greats, the classics, and it's verbatim, because I know this stuff, right? So I'm like, so I go out in the hall, and I said, well, how long you been playing? And he says, I've been playing a couple years. I said, a couple? He said, I've been playing about 2 years. I said, who taught you? He said, I taught myself. So I'm looking like, whoa. I'm like, this may be a virtuoso, right? But you got to be careful when you're calling somebody a virtuoso, because there's things that go along with that before you say that, right? So I'm like, look, give me your mama number, right? So he gives me his mom's number. I call his mom. I'm like, listen, it's something here. She's like, we know. We just don't know what to do with it. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get him in the studio, right? So I take him to Shock City. Get his demo together, right? I go in the studio and I'm thinking, you pay for by the hour at the studio, right? And so I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to cost a fortune, right? This guy gets in there and he kills it. Like, I think we took 1 or 2 extra takes. He goes, the same stuff, Bach, Mozart, Art Tatum, like all that, verbatim, right? So we're in and out. So now he has his CD, right? So you got, mind you, while all that's happening, I decided to call my contacts, because I need to do a story on this kid. This kid is special, right? So I asked the assistant principal, I'm like, can I bring my people in? And they're like, yeah, okay. She's like, yeah. She wants to get her makeup done. Like, we're making a whole big thing of it, right? So the day that it happens, right, the day they're coming in, the head principal calls me in. And he says, I need to speak to you. So I'm like, okay. So I go in, I sit down, I close the door. He said, what do you think you're doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what do you think you're doing? I said, well, the assistant principal said that I could do X, Y, and Z, and this is what we're doing. He said, well, no, you can't do that. I don't know who told you to do that. As a matter of fact, you're fired.
Wow.
So I was like, wow. So that day I got fired, and as I was walking out, their people were walking in to do what I was going to do. And that was the defining moment of why I got out of corporate. That's why, right there. But moving forward, so that was it. I lost my job over it, right? Years and years later, not even years and years, like last year, I'm scrolling through Facebook, right? And I see that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is about to do a new season, right? And I see that the kid who did the production on it is the same kid. His name is Royce Martin.
Wow.
Yeah, and not only that, and now he's teaching at Berkeley School of Music as well. So I lost my job, but I'll do it all over again, because I always say as a teacher, I want to be the teacher that I needed when I was coming up.
That's it.
So I do it all over again, if that means he's going to get where he's going, because it only takes one person to really believe in you, and that's all you need.
Wow. Now you said something with that.
That'll preach. That'll preach.
Oh, that'll preach. You better know it. You better know.
So that was my that was one of my favorite things about teaching. Like I said, I still teach from time to time. I'm like the cavalry. They call me in like, Miss Drake, we really need somebody. Somebody's pregnant, somebody's out. Then I say, okay, I'll come in. But other than that, I do it because I love it. Because teachers don't teach for the income, they teach for the outcome. Because if you taught for the income, you would never teach. And so, like I said, I'm the cavalry. They call me and say, hey, we really need somebody. I'm there for you. So that's what that is. But corporate America, done with it.
You dropping all kind of nuggets and jewels on today. I hope y'all picking this up, cause she laying it down. Now, the last time we were